Hello, everybody. It is Sunday, June the 28th, 2020 of this ungodly, insane year that is 2020. Hello. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, is this, well, I don't know if it's going to be as big of a show as what it was last week, but it's going to be one nonetheless. Hello, everybody. I'm Doug Lackey, veteran columnist of Wrestleview.com and occasional recapper of Wrestleview and co-host of Wrestleview Live alongside the effervescent editor-in-chief of Wrestleview.com, Mike Tedesco, where we cover all of the major WWE pay-per-views immediately following them right here on the Wrestleview YouTube channel. Oh boy, have we got a show. First off, I hope everyone is doing well. I hope everyone is doing well. I hope you're staying safe. Hope you're wearing your goddamn mask. Earlier today, Deanna and I went grocery shopping, and now here in North Carolina, it is mandatory statewide if you're out in public to wear a mask. Not a problem. Go to our local grocery store, and yeah, wearing the mask and everything. But I did catch, like, a few people just walking in and not wearing a mask, but had this look of like pure disdain in their face, just looking at people who are wearing masks. And I'm not one to, scoff or anything like that. And, I just see them and I just look, and my God, people have a look in their face of like, oh God, my freedoms are being trampled upon. Yeah, it's what we're dealing with now. I don't know what to say. But I'm just going to keep it at that. All right, enough of Doug bitching about his times at a grocery store in the morning. Today on the show of the Wrestleview Weeklies, going over NXT and SmackDown. Yours truly recapped NXT last Wednesday. One of the easier NXT shows for me to recap. Not as much little critter stuff, I guess, is the best way to put it. So, yeah, and a very eventful one, too. Lots of big matches that were on that show. So we're going to talk about that. SmackDown, kind of a tribute to The Undertakers. Going to talk about that a little bit. Lots of news to talk about. Spiky Nerf Ball back in the news on the WWE front, and then some. Going to talk about that. Fallout continuing from the hashtag Speaking Out movement that started 2 Fridays ago. Going to talk about that. Injury news of major proportions. Major WWE performer is said to be going under the knife for arm surgery of some kind. We're not sure, but we'll try to figure all of that out. WWE milk carton update as always. Some names coming back to it for a second or third appearance, for some a fifth and sixth appearance. And finally, WrestleMania next year, next April. So many question marks surrounding WrestleMania. Will the stadium be ready for WrestleMania? Will Spiky Nerf Ball still be in effect going into WrestleMania? So many questions, but the biggest question of all is, does the WWE have anything planned for WrestleMania? Like, what is their card? And normally the WWE has this big, humongous whiteboard that's in their conference room at the headquarters in Sanford, where they have WrestleMania already booked. Okay, WrestleMania is slated, and they've got it planned. They already know what they're going to do. This year, I'm not so sure. And more to it, it's really tough for us to figure it out, unless you're me, and you just can't help but prognosticate and figure stuff out. And so when you're bored stupid, you try to book WrestleMania. And so that's what we've been doing ever since the end of WrestleMania 36 last April. So we're going to break out our WrestleMania whiteboard, look at it, what we've been booking, and try to figure things out. I think we got to make a lot of changes to the WrestleMania whiteboard. So I think we're having more fun trying to figure out WrestleMania than WWE is, honestly. So I always love doing this segment. So I thought it'd be kind of fun and a nice little change of pace from all of the weird, bad, depressing news that's been happening. So anything to get our minds off of things. Okay, first, got to take care of the pleasantries. Get your fingers at the ready on the W's and the E's in the chat room. If you're in the chat room now, you say wee. If you're not in the chat room, there's not a damn thing I can do about that. Who is in the chat room right now? I see Mediocre Lewis. He knows I'm making fun. He's not mediocre. I see Lewis. Who else is in there? Jamel. I see Jamel. I see Jamel. I see Hayden going French on me. We. No, O-U, no, not just vowels. You got to have a W in there. It's wee. That's what it is. I see Gills. Who else is in there? I think everyone else will be filing in soon enough. I know everyone else will be coming in there because they're all really good people. They're nice people. Everyone who's in my chat room is awesome people. Yeah, I don't think there's ever been a bad time in this chat room. I like our chat room. I like our peoples. And I know they like it when I'm having good sources, is the thing. I'm really happy for today's show, too, because no tequila. We are tequila free. We are tequila free until our prediction show for Extreme Rules, which is going to be in a couple weeks. Mashoon in the chat room going, wee! Sources. Mashoon got here just in time to think of the sources. Mediocre Lewis asking me, what did I think of the Orange Cassidy this week? I am super stoked for the fight night. The fight fest. Whatever the heck they're calling it. Orange Cassidy getting the main event treatment going up against Chris Jericho. That's going to be a fun one. Oh, this is going to be fun. I'm really looking forward to that. Okay. Sources. We drink from the chalice of truth today, because that's what we're spouting today is truth with the WrestleMania whiteboard. And so today we go to once again our favorite brewery out of Charlotte, North Carolina when it comes to IPAs, Noda Brewery, North Davidson Brewery, Noda Brewery. My favorite light beer, my favorite light Vit beer during this time of the year when it's sweltering, when it's getting to the 90s. This is my favorite. It is Noda Hito. I know that's a weird thing you see, but it's a nice little 30s girl in a one-piece swimsuit diving through a lime is what that is. Yeah, Noda Hito is the guy that we're having here. Here we go. Here's your descriptor. Say salut to summer with this mojito-inspired Vit beer. An extremely sessionable beer. An extremely sessionable beer. It tastes as if mint leaves right out of the garden were muddled in the can and the rim was rubbed with fresh lime zest. Exquisitely light, but still boasting a tenacious head. See why it's been called Vacation in a Glass. Yes, that is what we're having. Is Vacation in a Glass in the chalice of truth. It's a very light one. The ABV on this guy was at a 4.8. Is a 4.8. It's a very light one. I want to go light today. Yeah. Just the right amount of hint of mint and lime. Just perfect. It's great, light, refreshing beer to have when you don't want the shit that's in the cans of Miller, Coors, and Bud. Ugh. Mediocre Lewis saying, I think TNA has been in the news more in the last few days than in the last few years. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, we got news on the TNA front, too. Apparently, people don't like working. Especially when they're a champion. When it comes to TNA. Got me on that one, so news on that front. Daniel in the chat room going, wee! Lots of news to talk about. Lots and lots of news. But first, what are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about the show that I had the privilege of covering last Wednesday. A very easy show to follow, for one. And it was easy to recap, to tell you the truth. It's always a difficult time for me to recap NXT when it is full of little critters. But it's also difficult to cover a wrestling show when there's a lot of wrestling in it. I did get a scene change, didn't I? Well, first I'm going to do the logo, because I love the logo. And then I'm going to switch it over. Yeah, don't know how that happened. Don't know how that happened. Yeah, okay, whatever. Don't know how that's going on. Okay, NXT. Big matches happening with the NXT. But first off, we start this off with Cameron Grimes finding cameras and camera crew at backstage in the parking lot going, hey, you better get over there. There's something wrong with Damian Priest. And Damian Priest is outside of a car clutching onto his lower back and ribs as if he had been attacked. Cameron Grimes then gets in the ring and looks like Damian Priest is making excuses to avoid his match, but instead they're going to have the match anyway. Damien, gets in the ring. Yeah. So Cameron Grimes versus Damian Priest. This match and this program in particular encapsulates everything that I think is wrong with NXT. Okay, don't get me wrong. NXT is a fun program. Okay, it's a fun program. It's it caters to a specific wrestling crowd. Totally get it. But my problem for the longest time when it comes to NXT is that there's no such thing as baby faces or heels in NXT. They're only characters. Whether they're good or bad is to your discretion, or they can just flip on a dime. Well, thank you for giving me props for recapping. I appreciate that, Michelle. That's the problem with NXT is you don't know who the faces or the heels are. The last pay-per-view that we had for NXT, I'm trying to remember, it was NXT TakeOver event. It was only theirs in your house. For NXT TakeOver in your house, we had Finn Balor versus Damian Priest, where I believe in this, the way this started was Finn Balor was attacked in the back, in the backstage area. Finn Balor would try to come out to say who attacked him. Damian Priest comes out and reveals himself as the attacker. They have a match, and Finn Balor wins. So Damian Priest, in that instance, in that program, is the heel. Suddenly, after Cameron Grimes has a match against Finn Balor, and I don't know, Damian Priest got involved somehow, but now for some reason Damian Priest is getting attacked by Cameron Grimes. Why? I don't know. But now Damian Priest is a babyface all of a sudden? Why? Why is he a babyface? And that's the problem with NXT. NXT to me is people swerve and change on a dime. You can't make heads or tails of any of it. And so, yeah, this is what we're getting now for probably the next 3 weeks is Cameron Grimes versus Damian Priest, where we're going to try to be convinced that one of them is a heel and one of them is a face. Why? I don't know. What could it lead up to? I don't know. Why do we need Damian Priest as a babyface? Cameron Grimes has always been a heel. With his voice, he should never be a babyface. But Cameron Grimes would end up winning the match against the two. Outside of NXT Performance Center, Robert Stone trying to convince Rhea Ripley to still join him. And instead, Rhea Ripley punches him in the gut and would proceed to dump him into a dumpster. Then Aaliyah would come out and say, how dare you do that to my manager, slaps her in the face. And so we're getting Rhea Ripley versus Aaliyah later tonight. Timothy Thatcher tortures some people and says that he's training. Okay. Santos Escobar with his Mexica mafioso of Joaquin Wilde and Raul Mendoza are in the ring. They say words, preparing for Santos Escobar to face off against Jake Atlas, who Jake Atlas, by the way, still has yet to appear on the WWE main roster. He is not on the main roster page. He is not on NXT's roster page, and I still don't know why. He has been on NXT every week now, I believe, for almost the past 4 or 5 weeks. Yes, this Santos Escobar character, and Mediocre Lewis brings it up there. Yeah, this is a great character. This great character, great stable. I really cannot recall the last time we had like a mafia-like stable in the WWE. I think those are the easiest and the most fun to work around. You can put them in so many different scenarios as being a writer. This is fun. This is a fun one. The only thing is, the only problem I have with it, though, is it is a mafia of little critters. When I think of a mafia, like a gang, like a family, a mafia family, you've got to have some bruisers in that family. You've got to have some bouncers. You've got to have some big guys, okay? And then you've got your hitmen, your little critters. So I'll take what I've been given. I will not mince with what's been given to me. I got no problem with this. Santos Escobar would win this match. I don't know why when I'm doing the GIFs I'm not getting the constant replays here. Because I really won't be able to do the wheeze if it keeps on stopping on me. Maybe if I reload it. Because I know you guys love hearing me do the wee. But yeah. Here we go. See if we can reload this. But again, Jake Atlas not on the main roster. Don't understand that. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, here we go. Now we're loading them up. And I know. Yeah, let's see. Loading it up. There we go. There's Escobar. There's this. Is it going to keep on replaying for me? The GIFs probably won't replay. I'm just doing this for the heck of it just to see. Nah, they're not replaying. That's fine. That's fine. We'll live. Faces and heels don't matter in NXT. That's right, James. That's right, Jamel. That's right, Lewis. So yeah. And Santos Escobar would win that match via the Phantom Driver. Roderick Strong has been going through therapy to fight his fear of Dexter Lumis. And so, James, yeah, I'm sorry, Jamel. I had you and Lewis. I had combined those words together. Roderick Strong going through therapy to fight his fear of Dexter Lumis. During his therapy, he would be put into the trunk of a car. Then he would get out. He seems he's ready. All right, so he should be ready for his match against Dexter Lumis later that night. Okay. Malcolm Bivens appears with Induced Share to say words. That's about it. We get another vignette package of Mercedes Martinez because she's a thing. Finally, after not being on television for nearly 4 months, she's going to make her return and repackaging. Sure. Tag team match. I really want to talk about this. This was a fun match. This was a really, really fun match. The team of Kayden Carter and Kacy Catanzaro facing off against Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzales. This was a fun match. Okay, this was an absolutely fun match. I was pleasantly surprised by this match. Kayden and Kacy have great chemistry together as a tag team. Just fun women doing fun things like this. Doing the drop toe holds, and then we have Kacy going over the top rope, and then Kayden would hit her with, I believe, a German suplex of sorts. Real fun tag team to watch. And against Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzales really stands out, where you had the powerhouse of Raquel Gonzales. I needed to find and I think I'll try to do it here on the side. Speaking of Raquel Gonzales, the big thing about this match that really got to me was there was an incredibly unnecessary tag to get Raquel Gonzales in the match. I don't know why she was tagged, why Dakota Kai was tagged in. I don't know why Dakota Kai was tagged in to, get the submission win. No, I'm not going to find the GIF. But at one point in this match, Kacy Catanzaro is caught on Raquel Gonzalez' shoulders. And Raquel has her up like this. Raquel switches her over so that Kacy is on one shoulder and she's got her by one arm. Kayden Carter comes over. Raquel just boots her down, and then one arm power bomb just slams Kacy Catanzaro into oblivion. Just destroys her. Okay. And then that should have been it. Should have just pinned it right there. But instead, Raquel tags in Dakota Kai to apply a submission and win. It was pointless. It was absolutely pointless. It should have ended right then and there. And if need be, Raquel going for the pin on Kacy. If Kayden tries to get up, that's where Dakota can run in and boot her in the face. Okay? If you need to give Dakota Kai that spot. But the unfortunate thing is we have to build up Dakota Kai because she's going to be taking part in a fatal four-way this Wednesday on an episode of NXT. So that's why she had to get the win. Very unfortunate. Very unfortunate that that's the way that we had to book this match. Because it was all about Raquel Gonzalez beating the crap out of Catanzaro and Kayden Carter. It was just fantastic. Karrion Kross versus Bronson Reed. This came about where Bronson Reed challenged Karrion Kross on last week's episode of NXT after he defeated Killian Dane and his receding hairline. This was a great match to boost Karrion Kross and his stock. Was an incredibly hard-hitting match. Karrion Kross's facial expressions are just, fantastic. They're absolutely fantastic. He's got that grimace and wide-eyed down. He has got it down pat, okay? The only problem is I just don't buy him as a powerhouse, is the thing. I mean, he's 6'5", 265, but I've seen Batista's bigger. Bork Laser is bigger. There are guys that are bigger than him that I would absolutely buy as a powerhouse. Jamel asking, is Scarlett still lip syncing the entrance song? Yeah, she's still lip syncing portions of it. And that's the other thing too. I'm still not down for the entrance. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I really do want to like Karrion Kross, but there are just as little things here and there that just need to be tweaked a little bit, you know? Yeah. But Karrion Kross would end up winning the match. Rhea Ripley versus Aaliyah. No projectile vomiting in this match because Xia Li is not in it. Very nice little wham bam, thank you ma'am, where Robert Stone would throw his shoe at Rhea Ripley. Where Robert Stone would throw his shoe at Rhea Ripley, which should cause an immediate disqualification. But who cares? Okay, it's wrestling. Who cares? Fuck your shit, fun things are fun. So, Rhea Ripley would chase Robert Stone around the ring and then back into the ring, but Aaliyah could not capitalize on the distraction, and Rhea Ripley gets a whip tied, and there you go. Backstage, well, not yet. Anyway, I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. Back from the break, Dexter Lumis is in the ring. Roderick Strong is trying to be coerced to the ring by Bobo Fish. I'm going to call him that now, Bobo Fish. Sounds a lot better than Bobby Fish. Roderick Strong wants nothing to do with Dexter Lumis. Yeah, Roderick Strong wants nothing to do with Dexter Lumis. You don't really want to call this a match because nothing really happened in this match. Dexter Lumis would stand in his ring corner, motionless, expressionless, Strong would try to finagle his way over to Dexter Lumis, but he kept getting inside his own head. Roderick Strong would numerous times get out of the ring and pace the ring. Dexter Lumis would stalk him, causing Roderick Strong to fall to the seat of his pants. He would try to leap over the barricade, but forgot that there's plexiglass there and splats himself on the plexiglass and then runs away. Your winner via countout is Dexter Lumis. Bobo Fish going, what the heck? And instead, Dexter Lumis giving him a big ol' hug. So there you go. Backstage, Robert Stone is speaking with William Regal. Yeah, we need another match. We need this match. And Regal says, no, you're right. You do need this match. So next week, it will be a 2-on-1 handicap match. Rhea Ripley versus Aaliyah and Robert Stone. God, yes. God, yes. This sounds fantastic. Robert Stone's first wrestling match in NXT is in a 2-on-1 women's handicap match. I love it. I love it. I don't care what anyone says about the Robert Stone character. I have been following this character for practically the past 9 months over Twitter, and his appearances at NXT house shows and occasionally on NXT UK. He is wildly entertaining. I love this character of, a brand marketer, that just gets his ass kicked all the time. It is fantastic. Because that's what managers are supposed to be. They are not always supposed to be, conniving, wringing hands, evil masterminds. Sometimes they get their ass kicked all the time. Jimmy Hart, Bobby Heenan, you name it, Mr. Fuji. They all got their butts kicked, okay? They all do. It's even better when it's in a ring during a match and they're part of the match. This Jamel saying being Robert Stone is better than Robbie E. or Broman's shit that he was doing at TNA. Absolutely. This is wildly better than anything he's ever done in TNA. Back from the break, triple threat for the NXT North American title. The winner of this match will face Adam Cole for his NXT championship 2 weeks from then. So not this Wednesday, but next Wednesday. Winner take all match between the winner of this and Adam Cole for the whole shebang, which I still have a hard time wrapping my head around. Spots on the match. Keith Lee is going to toss 2 white boys around like they're nothing. Yeah, that's what he does. Oh, yeah, by the way, this Wednesday is NXT's, they're calling it the Great American Bash. Okay. That's basically what I said on there. Okay. I will never get tired of Keith Lee memes, especially him peering up over the turnbuckle over Finn Balor's shoulder. That's the second time that we've gotten this gif. And I'm really getting annoyed that it's not just, my gifs aren't just on repeat. I'm really, that's really annoying. Really big, no, don't want to play it, don't want to play it. But yeah, your winner, chicken dinner, facing Adam Cole for the whole shebang is Keith Lee. Keith Lee versus Adam Cole, NXT title and NXT North American title up for grabs. I'm uneasy about this, CJ in the chat room going, wee! I am very uncomfortable with this. I smell a DQ. This ain't going through. This is not going to go through. This match is going to go a half hour, 45 minutes in the main event, and we're going to get a DQ. We are absolutely getting a DQ. Name your names on who is going to cause a schmoz in this match. You've got the entire Undisputed Era. You've got Dexter Lumis. Well, I don't know. Velveteen Dream might not show up, and news about that. Johnny Gargano, Finn Balor. Maybe some women will show up. Mia Yim, Candice LeRae. I mean, we're talking at least 7 or 8 other people that can cause a schmoz in this match when it happens. I'm not falling for this. It's going to be a DQ. This isn't going to fall through. There's not going to be someone having all of it. But if there is, we're getting alternate programs out of it. I hope they don't rig this up to where someone has both titles and then they have a whole thing where whoever wins the first fall and what. There's all kinds of wacky shit that they could do with this, and I'm just not digging it. Dodger Ryan in the chat room going, wee! I'm not a fan of this winner take all thing, but again, I see a DQ finish, is what I'm seeing. Normally, you don't get that on NXT. NXT tries to go away from false finishes, but now more than ever, I'm going to buy it. What did everyone think of the show? We will never know because I never posted the poll. We'll never know because I never posted the poll. Who cares? I'm sure it got a positive marks because everyone watches NXT. All right. So that's NXT. This should be a quick one when it comes to SmackDown because nearly half of the show was re-airing Undertaker's Boneyard match from WrestleMania this year against AJ Styles, and rightfully so. First off, so throughout this entire documentary that the WWE Network has been airing regarding, the Undertaker's last ride, what it was called, lots of hints going about his status when it comes to professional wrestling. A lot of sites were just running that he was retiring. Just running with it that he is now officially retired. Not so much. Last week we posted on Wrestleview that on the final episode of Undertaker's Last Ride, Mark Calloway stated that he believes the Boneyard match is his final match. However, Calloway did not rule out the possibility of coming back if needed by Vince McMahon. But right now he has no desire to get back in the ring. He said, quote, "If Vince was in a pinch, would I come back? I guess time will only tell there. In case of emergency, break glass, you pull out the Undertaker. I would have to consider that. Never say never, but at this point in my life and in my career, I have no desire to get back in the ring." Yeah. So you can say that he is officially retired, but he's not done. Okay? It's almost like I treat him almost like John Cena right now. I'm treating him like John Cena. In fact, nothing's really maybe changed with Undertaker, The Undertaker would thank all of his fans last Tuesday with this tweet, just to thank you. That's what he gave. Madison Square Garden would thank The Undertaker with this marquee 30 years of moments there at the world's most famous arena. So this would lead up to last Friday's episode of SmackDown, where it would be a special tribute to The Undertaker, re-airing that Boneyard match between Undertaker and AJ Styles from this year's WrestleMania. After that match, Karen Corbin comes through the ring and absolutely dismantles The Undertaker. Says nobody does a 30-year career unless they're protected by the owners. Says that he sucks. And out comes Jeff Hardy to attack him. And so we're getting Jeff Hardy versus Baron Corbin. King Corbin, Karen Corbin for the main event tonight. Fatal 4-way for the number one contendership for the SmackDown Women's title. Alexa Bliss versus Nikki Cross versus Dana Brooke versus Lacey Evans. Go figure this one. Karen and Sasha Banks would be at commentary. They would be at ringside. But your winner and the new number one contender for the SmackDown Women's title, Nikki Cross. So we're getting Karen versus Nikki Cross for the SmackDown Women's title. Man, this Extreme Rules coming up right now, it sounds like one of the easiest pay-per-views to predict right now. For an Extreme Rules pay-per-view, It's becoming very, very easy to predict. Teddy Long special. 8-man tag. New Day and Lucha House Party squaring off against Cesaro, Shinsuke Nakamura, The Miz, and John Morrison. Don't need to linger on this one. The good guys won. Braun Strowman comes out to the ring with brand new intro, brand new smoke machines for the Strowman Express, the little train thing that he has. I got to tell you right now, first, I love Braun Strowman's new entrance. I love the new Titantron of the train, him raising his arms and the steam bellowing out. I think it's fantastic. Great marketing campaign for his t-shirts and merch. It's great. Now, if we could just get model trains, if I could get a model train to run around a WWE ring, and Braun Strowman is like the engineer, that'd be cute. Model train. Still a model train. Whatever. Braun Strowman comes out to the ring, and he recalls a story involving him when Bray Wyatt first brought him into the Wyatt family, and they're sitting there in a swamp, and a snake comes up to Bray's lantern, and Bray just looks at it, and the snake bites him in the face, and he's laughing at it. And that was when Braun Strowman realized that he was in the presence of pure evil. Well, now, and the problem was, he realized that he was there to do the devil's work, and the worst part of it was he loved every second of doing the devil's work. So now he's afraid that side of him is going to come out the next time that he and Bray Wyatt meet. And so what better place to meet Bray Wyatt for a wrestling contest than, say, the Swamp? So yeah, Braun Strowman versus Bray Wyatt in Wyatt's Swamp. And CJ brings it up in the chat room. Braun Strowman is a great storyteller on the mic. Though I wonder how many takes it took. Though I wonder how much editing was involved. But there was no stammering, no stuttering. Delivered the lines perfectly. And I'm glad when he was delivering that story that production decided not to pipe in crowd reactions. It's gotten to a point now with a lot of these television shows by the WWE at their Performance Center. I totally get piping in crowd noise. Not a problem. Piping in cheers, piping in boos, totally get it. But they are doing them at some of the most horrid of times. Okay? I'm glad they didn't do any while Strowman was telling us a story. Tell me a story, Braun. Tell me a story, Mr. Strowman. Tell me about Bray. Was Bray a strong man? Yeah. They are, yeah, Jamel. Yeah, they're completely overdoing it with the crowd noise. But yeah, Braun right now, he's got it down pat. He's got the voice, he's got expression, he has everything. That's right. Finally, to end this show, Jeff Hardy versus Baron Corbin. Whenever you need a feel-good ending to any professional wrestling show by the WWE, you always count on beating up your number one heel, and that is Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin is the number one heel in WWE. Period. Doesn't matter. I don't care what Bray Wyatt has done. I don't care about his Fiend character and all of that. Now it's like a horror movie. I don't care about Seth Rollins and his voice and how just annoying him in general with the writing is. No. The best heel going in the WWE is Baron Corbin. Period. And how do you send us off being all happy after a Undertaker tribute show and Baron Corbin comes out and puts down the Undertaker? You have Jeff Hardy come out, you have him win the match, and then Big E gets in the ring and beats up Corbin, and then Braun Strowman gets in the ring and beats up Corbin, and then Matt Riddle gets in the ring and beats up Corbin? Okay. After the commercial break of the Corbin-Hardy match, it would somehow turn into a lumberjack match because all of the good guys are out in the ring. Jey Uso, Drew Gulak, Lucha House Party, New Day, even Lacey Evans and Dana Brooke, who just earlier in that episode had a fatal four-way match, were standing at ringside shoulder to shoulder. Okay. Sure. I don't. Whatever. Whatever. Your winner would again be Jeff Hardy. What did everyone think of SmackDown? 72% gave SmackDown a thumbs up, and that is par for the course because nobody watches SmackDown. Gil's bringing up in the chat room like his three favorite heels right now: Corbin, Miz, and MJF. Right now, my favorite heels, right now it's Corbin, and it's like leaps and bounds above anybody else. I can't think of any other heels to put in the same conversation alongside Corbin. I really can't. So, no, it's just Corbin or bust for me, what it is. Yeah. You just can't go wrong with Corbin. All right. Those are the television shows. There's a lot of news that we need to go over. Tons of news. Updates to spiking Nerf ball shenanigans, fallout from speaking out, and lots of other people being stupid under contract. Let's start this off with number one. Made headlines yesterday on Wrestleview. NXT superstar Velveteen Dream was involved in a car accident and was released from the hospital. Reported by Fightful, later confirmed by F4Dub Online. Velveteen Dream was involved in a car accident. There are no details on it, so we have no police report. We got no nothing. We just have a comment of, oh dear, by Mr. M on our page. No details have come out yet regarding the car accident and whatever happened while he was in the hospital. We're not sure what's going on here, but we're still keeping track of all of this. Last week, spiky Nerf ball, making waves around professional wrestling, especially WWE and AEW, where people would have positive cases of the spiky Nerf ball. Reported last Wednesday, multiple people tested positive for spiky Nerf ball in the WWE, causing the week's TV tapings to be not necessarily rescheduled, but still going as planned, but some tweaks had to be done. At 9 o'clock that day, the WWE responded to us saying they continue COVID-19 testing of its talent, production crew, and employees. So they're still doing their testing. But according to a report by Ryan Satin of Pro Wrestling Sheet, multiple people in the WWE have been tested positive. Sources interviewed for the report state that the number infected with the COVID-19 is 3 or more and includes in-ring talent. Report also states that more testing will now be done by the medical staff. Blah, 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 blah. So who could have tested positive? Well, before that shoe would drop that day, the 24th, that went on that day, report comes out that Jon Moxley was pulled from AEW Dynamite's live taping that night due to COVID-19 exposure. Came out of nowhere. AEW CEO and President Tony Khan announced on the Twitter that Jon Moxley was pulled due to secondhand exposure to the spiky Nerf ball. How could Jon Moxley get secondhand exposure from the spiky Nerf ball? There could be the most perfect of reasons, and she tweeted it out. Renee Young revealed that she tested positive for the spiky Nerf ball. tweeted it out at 11 o'clock on that Wednesday night. Man, what a few days. My show gets canceled and I get COVID. Wear your masks and wash your hands. Stay safe, everybody. What does she mean by her show gets canceled? Well, Fox Sports 1 is scaling back their WWE programming, and WWE Backstage will no longer be produced on a weekly basis. John Orond of the Sports Business Journal reported that Fox Sports 1 is scaling back all of this, according to a follow-up report by PW Insider. Fox held a meeting earlier that day to inform the people working on WWE Backstage that the series was done in the current format for now. An older episode is expected to be run in the usual time slot that week. So, yeah. I don't want to read the comments on that. So, Renee Young, she gets the spiky Nerf ball. Later that Thursday, we would report that 2 additional WWE staff members announced that they'd tested positive for spiky Nerf ball. They were WWE interviewer Kayla Braxton. Hey, Kayla! And WWE producer Adam Pearce. They both revealed this. Kayla Braxton, via the Twitter, was keeping it quiet, but since everyone else is sharing, I feel like it is my responsibility to share this. PSA, you can get spiky Nerf ball more than once. I had it back in early March and then thought I was invincible after I recovered. Not true. Don't be dumb like me. Hey, Kayla! Adam Pearce. COVID was not on my birthday list. Not only this, but more names would come out. WWE producer Jamie Noble announced that he tested positive. He did this in a statement saying, now that not how we expect this month to go, COVID-19 has hit home. Prayers for me and my family will be greatly appreciated. So there we go. 2 interviewers and 2 producers, or 2 agents, or 2 coaches, or 2 trainers, whatever you want to call it. Spiky Nerf ball. Did them in. Wear your goddamn mask. Wear the goddamn mask, okay? Seriously. I don't like wearing it. I'll be honest. I'm having a hard time wearing it myself. I don't like how, when I wear my mask, I wear it so it's underneath my lip. I can't have it cover my chin because then the stubble and stuff on my chin pulls it down and it feels like it covers my mouth, and it's annoying. I mean, I'll go ahead and just say it. It's annoying. I don't like it, but I got to do it. I mean, seriously, there are essential workers that have to wear it all throughout their workday. All right? I have no right to complain. That's what I got to wear. It's what I got to wear. Wore it to go out to eat last Friday night with Deanna. We went out to eat Friday night and had to wear the mask. And then once we got our table, we took it off. No problem. Wear your mask, okay? Don't bitch about it. Don't be a snowflake. That's what I find hilarious, is that the group of people that made the term snowflake and they love saying it are the ones that are acting like it the most. You know? So. That's the fallout from that spiky Nerf ball stuff. How about some more fallout from the Speaking Out hashtag that happened 2 Fridays ago? Speaking Out was a movement that started 2 Fridays ago on the Twitter, involving a lot of former female talent, former female professional wrestlers, interviewers, fans, many females coming out and recounting and recalling their stories of sexual harassment, of sexual and emotional and physical abuse by many male professional wrestlers. And so, more fallout. NXT UK's Travis Banks was released by the WWE. He was accused by wrestler Millie McKenzie of numerous acts of wrongdoing while he was her trainer, including engaging in a relationship with her while she was under the age of 18. Travis Banks released a statement regarding Millie McKenzie's comments. You can read those at your own leisure. Former NXT UK superstar Ligero was released by the WWE following sexual misconduct allegations. Wrestler Violet O'Hara, or Claire Michelle Oldfield, stated in a Twitter post that Ligero had indecently assaulted her after she allowed him to lay in her bed when he was let into a hotel room she was sharing with others. Ligero responded to the accusations in several posts on Twitter, then deleted his entire Twitter account. You can read his statements and posts there on the on Wrestleview if you care to do so. Not only fallout from hashtag speaking out, but also lots of audio and shit surfacing of men doing stupid shit. AEW star Sammy Guevara apologized for an inappropriate comment that he made about WWE's Sasha Banks back on a podcast in 2016. On the podcast, Guevara stated that he did a tryout with WWE at the Performance Center and met Sasha Banks there. Guevara said after meeting her, quote, "I wanted to go effing rape that woman." After audio of this podcast came out, Guevara apologized for his comments on the Twitter, and Guevara stated that he recognized he had made a stupid, inappropriate, and extremely offensive comments in his past. He says that he personally called Sasha Banks regarding this, apologizing profusely, and he thanked her for teaching him a gigantic lesson, in his quotes. Banks would also respond on the social media, saying that she spoke with Sammy. You can read all of their comments and their reactions at your own leisure. Because of this, AEW would suspend Sammy Guevara without pay, and his salary would be donated to a women's center. Per their press release, AEW insists on doing our part to create a world of understanding and respect for humankind. We therefore strongly condemned the extremely offensive and hurtful words of Sammy Guevara. As such, effective immediately, Guevara is suspended without pay until further notice. He has agreed to undergo extensive sensitivity training, and upon completion, his future status within the company will be re-evaluated. During his suspension, his salary will be donated to the Women's Center of Jacksonville. This is not sarcastic. I am not being sarcastic at all. Seriously, I'm not. This is how you do it. That's how you do it. That's exactly how you do it. Nafisa Dot with horrible timing saying, "Wee!" It is again amazing how, when it comes to spiking Nerf ball and hashtag speaking out, that AEW is better at handling this than the WWE is. It is amazing to me how they handle this with more professionalism and more transparency than the WWE does. Am I supposed to believe what they say? Well, I don't know. They're trying to sell. I don't know. Not unless we look into their financials and see that that's what they did do, is what they donated to the Women's Center of Jacksonville. Time will tell. Time will tell. But that's how you do it. That is exactly how you do it. Impact Wrestling confirmed that Joey Ryan and Dave Christ are no longer with their company, and Michael Elgin is suspended. Impact Wrestling would issue the following statement. They have confirmed that they have terminated the contracts of Dave Christ and Joey Ryan effective immediately. Anthem Sports and Entertainment issued a statement on last Friday regarding the allegations of their performers. Joey Ryan would issue a non-apology apology as well. Christ and Elgin, though, had not responded to any of the allegations that were made towards them. Yeah. So. Jamel saying, yeah, the WWE did fire 2 guys pretty much right away who were swept up in it. No, that's true. But they did not go beyond like what AEW did. And that is give money to a local charity or local organization that specializes in sexual abuse. Yeah. That's the only thing. WWE has handled the speaking out well. It's just not to a level that AEW did. Is the only thing. That's why I say AEW has done a way better job at it than the WWE does. Not saying that the WWE is not doing a good job. WWE's doing a horrible job when it comes to spiking Nerf ball, though. Former NWA Vice President David Lagana would issue a statement denying the sexual assault accusation levied to him. If you want to read that statement, you go right ahead and do that. Problem is, he resigned from the NWA within 12 hours after the accusation came out. Now, whether he did that just so that that kind of bad press would go to the NWA, sure. It's understandable. But doesn't look good on your part. He would deny it, releasing a statement to Post Wrestling denying anything inappropriate took place, and he gave a timeline in which Liz Savage, the accuser, came to stay with him and how she left. If you want to read that, go right ahead. I am not going to. It's not worth it. I am not here to analyze people's love lives or misconducts. No. All I need to tell you is that he resigned from NWA's vice presidency, and now he is still denying. That's all. So that's enough of that. Actually, I want to switch that over to that. Instead, Chikara founder Mike Quackenbush announces that he is discontinuing the company of Chikara amid recent allegations. He announced on the Twitter that amid allegations about himself and his employees, he is discontinuing Chikara and resigning as the head trainer at the Wrestle Factory. Quackenbush noted that a full statement on these matters would be provided in the near future. Chikara was founded 18 years ago in 2002 by professional wrestlers Mike Quackenbush and Reckless Youth, who also served as trainers and in-ring performers for the company. So, thanks to hashtag speaking out, we have the downfall of our first company. And don't be shocked if Ring of Honor is to follow. Chikara founder Mike Quackenbush will release a video statement regarding those recent allegations. It's 14 minutes long. He accepts responsibility for some of the allegations, admitted to some of the allegation, but denied others. Feel free to partake in his statement if you wish. I will not do so, because I listened to maybe 3 or 4 minutes of it, and he sounds like a guy that just bit into a jalapeno pepper, and he's trying his damnedest to get through it as quickly as possible. Not related to hashtag speaking out, but related to people acting stupid and being unprofessional. Impact Wrestling has terminated the contract of Tessa Blanchard and stripped her of the TNA World title. Oh, this one's a doozy, people. As first reported by P-Dub Insider last Friday, and then confirmed by Impact Wrestling, Tessa Blanchard's contract has been terminated and she's been stripped of the world title. Blanchard was originally set to defend the Impact World title at the promotion's Slammiversary pay-per-view on July 18th in a 5-way match. However, Tessa has been in Mexico and has been unable to leave the country because of travel restrictions due to spiky Nerf ball. That happens. That's not why she's been released. Also, according to PW Insider, Blanchard was supposed to send promos from Mexico earlier this month, but failed to do so. In addition, she was slated to have been part of an edited sit-down interview conducted by Josh Matthews via satellite. When that material was not received, it was said that Impact had to re-edit an entire episode with host segments and new voiceovers. The same report indicates that Impact sources were attempts to get Blanchard to return to the U.S. so she could drop the world title, but neither side could come to an agreement. Tessa Blanchard is still signed with Women of Wrestling and Lucha Libre AAA worldwide. She had made appearances in 2016 and 2017 for NXT and World Wonder Ring Stardom. Yeah. What a stupid little shit. Seriously. With all the crap that, with everything that she brought on herself earlier this year. Wow. It's amazing. Simply amazing. I want to scroll down on this one. Should have never put the title on such a mean, vindictive, terrible person. I hope no company signs her. Sad that she was stripped, not sad that she is a terrible person. I know this question will probably get asked a lot in the coming days, but I figure I'd throw it out there. What exactly was the point of putting the world title on her? Publicity, yeah. This is really the only way for silly storyline to close. Only one whatever. I'm not going to talk about TNA booking. Wow, so they managed to demasculate their entire male roster by having Tess kick all their asses and have her win their top belt, and now this is how it ends. Well played. Yeah. Well played indeed. Oof. Woof. Well played indeed. Michael Elgin will not be appearing for Impact Wrestling, and the company would release a statement on this. He will not be appearing in any further Impact Wrestling programming, but that does not mean that he's been terminated. PW Insider reported that sources have stated that Elgin will not be seen again. He's been removed from the roster page, and all merchandise related to Elgin has also been removed. So I guess he's released, but you're saying he's just not going to be... Just say you terminated his contract. How about that? Lou is saying the fact that TNA is still around boggles my mind. I'm with you. I don't like TNA. Never have. I'm surprised they're still around. I am just as shocked as you are. Let's try to get some good news here. I'm going to try to find some good news. Now let's talk about this. Former WWE star Sarah Logan announces that she is stepping away from professional wrestling. She announced on her Instagram that she's stepping away for the foreseeable future. She also noted that the best way to keep up with her is on Wild and Free TV, where she and her real-life husband, Eric from the Viking Raiders, they launched this May on the YouTube. She's just going to focus on herself and things. And you know what? More power to her. More power to her. Yeah. More power to her. Finally, I guess is the good news I can think of. The WWE reportedly has set up 3 days of planned TV tapings. This Wednesday, they will be taping 2 weeks of the Great American Bash episodes to be filmed. Night 1 of Great American Bash will air on the July 8th episode of NXT. I'm confused about what they're doing with this Great American Bash thing. Thursday, July the 2nd, they'll be taping the July 3rd and 10th episodes of SmackDown, as well as 205 Live. And then Friday the 3rd, they will be taping for July 6th and July 10th episodes of Monday Night Raw. That makes no sense because July 10th is not Monday Night Raw. That's for main event. So they're taping for the July 6th episode of Monday Night Raw and the July 10th shows of main event and Raw Talk. Oof. Tomorrow's episode of Monday Night Raw was filmed yesterday at the Performance Center. It was also being said that the 2 additional episodes of NXT were to be filmed on Thursday. Well, that's now off. They are not doing that anymore. Ugh. All kinds of wacky crap happening because of spiky Nerf ball and speaking out, hashtag speaking out. But something that's happening that's not related to either of them is on the injury front. I am fascinated by this quote-unquote report. The injury reports that have been coming out of F4Dub Online and PW Insider have been just works of art to me. So Charlotte Flair, according to a report by F4Dub Online, she's going to be undergoing surgery and is going to be out of action. But we don't know what kind of surgery. Nor do we know if it's about her shoulder or her arm or something else. In the storylines, she's been written out because Nia Jax took out her arm or something like that on the episodes of Monday Night Raw. We don't know how long she's going to be out because we don't know what the injury is. The original report is stating that there's hope she'll be back for SummerSlam, but it's not 100%, which means that this is just cleanup surgery. This could be elbow or shoulder. These could be bone spurs. Well, it's not bone spurs. We could definitely see those. So we don't know. Other reports have got her coming back for Survivor Series or Royal Rumble at the latest. They have her being out for 6 to 7 months. We don't know what it is. Do we have any doctors in the comments section? Nope. So we have no idea. We just know that she's having surgery, according to a report. What it is, we don't know. Really? This is journalism. This is journalism. Pro wrestling journalism. You just can't get any better than that. So that brings us up to the injury list. Kid Tyson in the chat room going, wee! Crack open another good one here. So injury list. Razar with a torn bicep. He's not gonna be back until SummerSlam times. Becky Lynch has a tiny human in her tum-tum. She's not gonna be back until WrestleMania times. Don't you stay. Don't you go over the top, you stay. It's a good beer. Jinder Mahal, cleanup surgery on the same knee that he ruptured his patella in. He's not going to be back in time until October. I go to journalism for my stuff.
You just study that question. Hey, you go to journalism for that.
Edge, torn tricep. He's not going to be back until WrestleMania times. Charlotte Flair, something. We don't know. Lars Sullivan, his knee was destroyed nearly 18 months ago. He's still on the roster page. We don't know what's going on here with him. Xavier Woods and Ember Moon repairing their torn Achilles. They should be back in time for SummerSlam because, yeah, they've been gone for a while. Jimmy Uso, cleanup surgery on his right knee. He's not going to be back in time for Survivor Series. Elias, third injury in 2 years. Torn boob, torn pectoral muscle. He's not going to be back until WrestleMania times. Boa, torn rotator cuff and labrum. He is not going to be back until SummerSlam times. He's the male Chinese performer for NXT. And Jessamine Duke, cleanup surgery on both elbows. She will not be back in time for SummerSlam. She'll be back in time for SummerSlam. So, those are the people that are hurt. What about the people who aren't hurt? What about the people who are perfectly healthy? What about the people who haven't been on WWE television and pay-per-view for, say, 3 weeks? They end up on a very special list. A special list of my own design. New people have shown up. It is time for the only segment that the WWE really pays attention to. It's the only segment that you should pay attention to, and we know that no one else is paying attention to unless it's convenient for them when they can't think of anything to write on their professional wrestling news site because they come to me. I press the wrong buttons. I'm going to this one, not that one. It's this one. I'm so freaking excited! It's the WWE milk carton. I don't know what the hell just happened. Doug hasn't even had enough to drink. Oh my God. I really need to come up with a sounder for Milky. I really, really do. I don't know what the hell to do. I need I need a jingle of some kind for the WWE milk carton, because this really is one of the main reasons I know that you guys tune in to the show. So let's go ahead and start things off. Tomato Chomper making his third appearance on the WWE milk carton. We haven't seen him since NXT TakeOver in Your House, where he was defeated by the Karrion Kross. We don't really know what's going to be going on with him. He could be going to Raw or SmackDown. You think about it, because that is the perfect time to go ahead and switch him over, because I don't know what I would have him do unless he's going to return and beat up Karrion Kross. I guess, but I'm not buying that. And also, Tomato Chomper, he's had a lot of injuries, and it's looking kind of scary, so I'm not sure. Isaiah Swerve Scott, haven't seen him since the June 3rd episode of NXT, where during the Little Critter, this was post Little Critter tournament title thingy, he had a match with Tony Nese. He's been appearing on 205 Live doing matches on there. So, yeah, he's got stuff going on, but he doesn't seem to be a focal point on NXT. Everyone's number one waifu, Kairi Sane. Haven't seen her since the June 1st episode of Monday Night Raw, where she faced her doom by the waifu destroyer, Nia Jax. I am going to I will be cheering this from the mountain. I'm going to laud it from the mountaintops. When everyone was bitching about Nia Jax being reckless, it's only because they were destroying their number one waifu, Kairi Sane. And they're the same way right now when it comes to Io Shirai. Okay? Nia Jax, the waifu destroyer. Waifu killer. Waifu killer. That's the same. Yeah. Oh, run away. I love that song. It's way better. That sounds way better. Oh, waifu killer. That's the same. Yeah. Oh, God, that sounds so much better. Oh, man. Yeah, Nia Jax has got to run with that. There are some things that I want professional wrestlers and that I want the WWE to run with that I have come up with. I need the crowd chanting Karen whenever Bayley comes out. And then Nia Jax calling Kairi Sane a waifu. Okay? I gotta have that. I've got to get that. All right. Forgotten Sons. Haven't seen them since the May 29th episode of SmackDown, where they gave a monologue about how rambunctious and rebellious they are, being former Marines and all that shit. They aren't on TV because Jackson Riker decided 2 days after the disgusting murder of George Floyd that he should praise the President of the United States on the Twitter. So, yeah, we are not going to see them for a while, and it's sad. Sad that Riker. You got to pick and choose your times to go kayfabe, and whether he was going in or not, I don't care. It's completely tasteless. That's why you're not on TV. Chelsea Green, haven't seen her since the May 27th episode of NXT where she teamed up with Charlotte Flair to face off against Rhea Ripley and Io Shirai in a Teddy Long special.
Now, if all four of you want to mix it up, then we're going to do it right. I'm going to make this a tag team match.
Yes, it would be after this match that she was victorious that she would fire Robert Stone. Even though Robert Stone has been on television every week since then, and she has not. Go figure. Kushida. Let's try this again. Kushida, we have not seen him since that same episode on May the 27th of NXT. This show's going off the rails because I love my sources. My sources today are No Dahito from No Da Brewery. It's like a mojito vit beer. Kushida, haven't seen him since the May 27th episode of NXT when he took part in the triple threat match between Drake Maverick and Jake Atlas to determine who would be the other finalist for the interim Little Critter championship. Normally in the past, if you lost a match against Kushida, you would be abducted by Los Conquistadores and tossed into an SUV. But what happens if you are Kushida and you lose a match? What happens to you? You don't show up, but you're not trapped in a car. All right, Shayna Baszler. There. I keep pressing the space bar. It's supposed to be for my milk carton, but it keeps muting me. Sorry. I'm just so excited about the milk carton. I just can't help it. No, I'm just figuring out. I'm hitting the space bar and it's doing it for the sound, and it shouldn't be for that. Shayna Baszler, May 18th. Haven't seen her since then. That episode of Monday Night Raw where she squared off against Natalya in a submissions match, I believe. I have no idea what's going on here with her. Is she hurt? Is there something wrong? I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. All I know is that she's getting there. How do I put this? Next week, we're going to be talking about ages in the WWE roster. Going to be talking about the ages of WWE performers and who we could be seeing leaving the WWE soon, and who could be taking their places. I got to tell you, Shayna Baszler is 39 years old. Yeah. Maybe we didn't think she was going to have as big of an impact on the main roster as we thought she was. Bianca Belair. Haven't seen her since the May 11th episode of Monday Night Raw, where she hugged Becky Lynch backstage because she announced that she was getting a tiny human in her tum-tum. We haven't... What is she doing? Now, this is different, okay? Look, Bianca Belair, though, she's in the ripe age of 31. So, no, age is not a problem here. I don't think she's hurt. And the only things that I've been seen from her is that she knits a lot of stuff for her hubby, Montez Ford. And they just recently celebrated their wedding anniversary. So I don't know what's happening with the Raw women's roster. I hope Bruce Pritchard can figure that out for us. Cedric Alexander. Haven't seen him since that same episode on May the 11th of Monday Night Raw where he teamed up with fellow Milk Carton member Rick O'Shea to square off against another member of the WWE Milk Carton, Shane Thorne, and some other guy with the last name of Vink, who is not on the WWE main roster. That's right. A tag team match that happened on May the 11th, almost a month and a half ago, and we have no follow-up with any of the cats involved. What are we doing? What was the point of that match? What are we doing? Carmella, haven't seen her since Money in the Bank on May the 10th, where she took part in the women's Money in the Bank match. I have no idea what's happening here. There's pictures of her with Corey Graves all over the Twitter, doing stuff with his podcast, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what's going on here with her, okay? On last week's episode of SmackDown, a bunch of female performers were backstage bitching about why they weren't being shown on television, and she wasn't there. I don't know. Double D, Dominic Dijakovic Jones. Double D, he hasn't been on television since the May 6th episode of NXT where he faced off against Johnny Gargano to assure us that Johnny Gargano was a heel. That's worked, we think, but it's NXT because we still can't tell who's a face or a heel at NXT. But we only know that Double D is not on TV. Titus O'Neil, haven't seen him since the May 4th episode of Monday Night Raw, where he took part in a gauntlet match to determine the final entrant into the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. Then it doesn't matter what's going on with him because he's too busy helping people's lives in Tampa, Florida. Everyone is clothed, fed, well-nourished, roof over their head, well-educated, and I am convinced that it's better to live there than in any other country. Well, no, it's better to be in Sweden. No, or Finland. Or somewhere else where there's, state-run healthcare. It's definitely the best town to be in Florida, that's for damn sure. I'd forgotten to put this guy in the milk carton, and I can't believe that I've looked over him for so long. But I should. He needs to be in here. Pete Dunne. I've been forgetting about him. He was in my database, and I've been glancing over him. Pete Dunne. Haven't seen him since the April 15th episode of NXT when he announced via FaceTime or something on the NXT Titantron thingy that he could not be there to defend the NXT Tag Team titles alongside Matt Riddle. So instead, in his place, was Timothy Thatcher. So, Pete Dunne is too busy. He is across the pond, locked in England due to spiky Nerf ball, and chastising all of the men for acting like dipshits with the speaking out movement. Bork Laser, haven't seen him since night 2 of WrestleMania on April the 5th, where he lost the WWE title to Drew McIntyre. We will not see Bork Laser until there is a live crowd. Sami Zayn, haven't seen him since night 1 of WrestleMania on April the 4th, where he successfully defended the Intercontinental title against Daniel Bryan. He is trapped in Canada. He is not getting out. He is vocal on the Twitter about all kinds of things. And, we may not be seeing him for a while either. Riddick Moss. Haven't seen him since March 23rd on the episode of Monday Night Raw, where he was jogging through a suburban neighborhood and then was rolled up by R-Truth to lose the 24/7 title. He may be locked out of his home or something. We don't know. Someone send an APB out for him. I don't know where the heck he is. Roman Reigns. Burden. Yes, he was shown on this episode of SmackDown giving an interview about how great Undertaker is. Nah, that doesn't count. Nah. We haven't seen Roman Reigns since the March 20th episode of SmackDown, since he was there to sign a contract to face Bill Goldberg for the Universal Championship. That was a match that never happened. He is too busy staying at home, not because he had leukemia and because he's afraid of spiky Nerf ball, but because he loves his family and he wants to spend time with his children. No, I'm convinced it's because of spiky Nerf ball now. It's because of COVID. Come on. Grizzled young veterans. Haven't seen them since the March 11th episode of NXT where they blindsided Matt Riddle and Pete Dunne after they successfully defended the NXT Tag Team titles against Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly of Undisputed Era. For 4 weeks prior to March the 11th, we had been pushing in NXT that grizzled young veterans were a thing, having matches against Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch, that team, and the team of Everrise. They are now across the pond doing stuff at NXT UK, and they are on NXT's main roster page and haven't done jack for nearly 4 months. AOP, even though Rezar is hurt, I'm counting both of them. AOP, we haven't seen them since the March 9th episode of Monday Night Raw, where for 5 or 6 straight weeks, we had nothing but 6-man or 8-man tags involving them, the Viking Raiders, and Murphy, and Rollins, Kevin Owens, and Samoa Joe. So, yeah. I miss them. But Rezar's hurt. And I don't know what the hell. They're a lost cause. Jamal asking, he's curious what I'm thinking. Could the WWE's handling of COVID-19 cause guys to look for an exit from their contracts like Burden or Kevin Owens? No. Because the time off that they are taking is time off that is just going to extend their contract. The only way, Jamal, the only way that that's going to happen is WWE needs to actively release them. It's just going to further extend contracts. It's just like if they were doing injury time. It's kind of like what's happening with Jeff Hardy right now. Jeff Hardy right now is serving the remainder of his contract. His contract was to expire the same time Matt Hardy's did, except he needed knee surgery and he was out for nearly 9 to 10 months. So that's what's happening with Jeff Hardy, and that's what can happen also with all of the other WWE talent. Their contracts are just going to be extended. So I don't see any of them looking for outs just because of how they're handling this. It's just patience. They're still getting paid. Robert Roode. Haven't seen him since the March 8th Elimination Chamber pay-per-view where he teamed up against Dolph Ziggler in the SmackDown Tag Team Championship match within the Elimination Chamber. He is trapped in Canada. Don't know if he's going to be showing up on television, even though he has been traded to Monday Night Raw. Not so sure, but I can tell you one thing. He is at the ripe age of 43. Brina Shaffir, we haven't seen her since the March 4th episode of NXT, where she shoved a stick through a cage so that her husband, Roderick Strong, could beat up Velveteen Dream. That didn't work out so well. She's too busy being a wife. Mansoor. Haven't seen him since February 27th's Super Showdown pay-per-view out of Jeddah or Riyadh. Bismarck, South Dakota, because the WWE doesn't like saying where he's actually from, where he had a match against Dolph Ziggler. This only further confirms that Mansoor only performs in his home country of South Dakota. Kona Reeves, haven't seen him since the February 19th episode of NXT, where he took a powder to Keith Lee after he had won the NXT North American Championship in less than 25 seconds. Vanessa Bourne, haven't seen her since the January 15th episode of NXT, where she took part in a battle royale of the Vagina Persuasion to figure out who would be the number one contender for the NXT Women's title, who at the time was Rhea Ripley. The winner of that battle royale would end up being Bianca Belair, and they would face off at NXT TakeOver Portland. Vanessa Bourne, your guess is as good as mine. Take a sip. We're dipping into 2019. Grash in the chat room going, wee! Mustafa Ali. We haven't seen him since December the 27th of last year on an episode of SmackDown where he said inspirational shit. He's been doing a lot of stuff on TV with Chicago locally when it came to, he was a police officer for 4 years, and so he had been conducting interviews regarding police, I guess. It's rumored that he is now on Monday Night Raw, and that the entire storyline of the Hacker has been shelved on SmackDown. We haven't seen the Hacker on SmackDown in 4 weeks. I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. Only thing that I do know is that he's still on the main roster. Bo Dallas. Haven't seen him since the November 15th episode of SmackDown, where him, Drew Gulak, and Curtis Axel were in the ring making fun of Braun Strowman leading into Survivor Series of that year. Curtis Axel is no longer with the WWE, and Drew Gulak is enjoying a nice little program alongside Daniel Bryan and potentially Matt Riddle as well, and forming a stable of some kind. Your guess is as good as mine on this one. And finally, the stalwart of the WWE milk carton. How many weeks are we approaching here? I think it's like 10. Like 9 or 10 weeks until he becomes a golden gallon. 1 year of being on the main roster and yet to appear on television or pay-per-view, yet being perfectly healthy. Only the Colognes have that distinction, Primo and Epico, before they were released by the WWE. The stalwart. The epitome of truancy. Arturo Ruas. Who? Who's this guy? We haven't seen him since September 18th of last year on an episode of NXT. The debut episode of NXT on the USA Network. He faced off against Pete Dunne in an effort to make Pete Dunne a thing. Pete Dunne is a thing. Your reward, Arturo? We don't need you on TV. Here we are. September 18th. What are we looking at here? 11 weeks? I think we're looking at 11 weeks. 11 or 12 weeks is what it looks like. Will he make it? Will Arturo Ruas continue to be a WWE employee long enough to become a golden gallon on the WWE milk carton? Only time will tell. That's the WWE milk carton for this week of June the 28th. A strange statistical anomaly is happening this week with regards to the WWE milk carton. No one is slated to appear on the milk carton this week. That's right. I got no one. No one is slated to appear on the milk carton if they don't show up. Everyone's good. So the only thing that can happen on the WWE milk carton next week is people show up. That's right. This has never happened with the WWE milk carton. This has never, ever happened. So the carton, that's right, Jamel, the carton will only get smaller next week if people show up. And I'm just going to like scroll through. If any of these people, the waifu, if any of these people show up, it just gets smaller. I got no new additions showing up on the WWE milk carton. Place your bets. Place your bets on who could show up this week. If I'm going to place my money on anyone that may be showing up, probably Chelsea Green. Either Chelsea Green, Kairi Sane, I could see appearing. Yeah. I'm looking at more of the women. I don't see Cedric Alexander or Ricochet showing up. So there you go. Any of those people show up. There you go. So the milk carton's only getting smaller. All right. Let's dip into WrestleMania 37 talk. And let's try our damnedest. Because since the WWE apparently doesn't know what they're doing for WrestleMania, we'll try to figure out what we're going to do for WrestleMania. All right. This is going to be fascinating because it's amazing when we look back at the WrestleMania whiteboard that we have constructed and seen, oh God, this looks horrible. But first off, what is the WrestleMania whiteboard? In the headquarters of Stamford, Connecticut with the WWE in their big conference room, big whiteboard that shows what they have booked for WrestleMania. They book it well in advance. Okay? They've got it ready to go. Tapping out. See you later, Lewis. Wee. So I don't think they have any clue what they're doing for WrestleMania, and so it's our job to try to figure out what they are going to do and also have a little bit of fun. Okay? First off, you got to set the parameters and limitations for WrestleMania 37. First off, last year's WrestleMania spanned 2 nights. Saturday from 7 to 10, Sunday from 7 to 10:30. On those 2 nights, you had 16 matches, 9 of them title matches, 7 of them grudge matches. 2 of these 16 matches were cinematic matches. There were 9 title matches. Of those titles, it was the Universal and World title, all 3 women's titles of Raw, SmackDown, and NXT, all 3 tag team titles, sans NXT of Raw, SmackDown, and Women's Tag Team, and the Intercontinental title. All 3 brands, Raw, SmackDown, and NXT, were showcased at last year's WrestleMania that encompassed 166 performers between all 3 brands. Not saying all 166 showed up, I'm just saying there were 166 performers amongst those 3 brands. So how will WrestleMania 37 be structured? Basing it off of what happened last year, first off, will all 3 brands be represented? Absolutely, because NXT is now part of the main roster. They have a television show every week on the USA Network. So yes, all 3 brands will be represented. Will WrestleMania 37 be 2 nights? Yes. I believe WrestleMania will forever span 2 nights. With the NXT being part of the main roster, the TakeOver show on Saturday can now be more like WrestleMania Saturday. It's not as potent as what it used to be. Yeah. How many matches will there be at WrestleMania 37? 16 to 20 matches is what I'm looking at. 16 to 20. And with NXT being established, again, it's WrestleMania Saturday. So NXT will have their own matches in WrestleMania 37. Will there be cinematic matches? Yes. This was confirmed by the WWE in their first quarter presser for 2020. How many title matches are going to be at WrestleMania 37? Right now, I believe there will be at least 12 title matches. There were 9 last year, but that was 9 out of 16 matches. I think there's going to be a dozen title matches this year, but there are right now 14 titles on the main roster. This includes the Universal title, World title, NXT title, the women's titles, and tag titles amongst all 3 brands, the mid-card titles of the NXT North American, Intercontinental, and United States. You have the women's tag team championships and the Cruiserweight championship. 14 titles spanning all of the WWE programming. Andrew in the chat room going, wee! So, WrestleMania 37 will be 2 nights, 18 matches. Of those 18 matches, we will have 12 title matches, 4 grudge matches that don't involve titles, and 2 cinematic grudge matches of some kind. Because that's all they've done. Every grudge match, every cinematic match that has happened has been a grudge match of some kind, except for the Money in the Bank matches that they had earlier this year. So, there you go. I do not see stadium being built in time for WrestleMania. I just don't see it happening. I see, again, WrestleMania spanning 2 nights, Saturday and Sunday, barring COVID-19, it happening at Staples Center. Barring COVID-19, that's what's going to happen. So, that's what I believe WrestleMania is going to consist of. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got to prepare here a little bit. Break out my webcam here, because I've got to switch around so you can see, so you can actually read what I'm going to be holding up here. There we go. So, let's get to it. All right, here we go. The WrestleMania whiteboard. All right. I gotta make sure I got this angled right so you can. Man, the red is not showing up. Red is not showing up real well on this. I'm gonna have to use darker colors on this stuff. I'm gonna have to use darker colors on all this stuff so you can actually see them. Yeah, it's not doing it. There we go. Okay, we're trying. Night 1. We've got Drew McIntyre defending the WWE title against Samoa Joe. We have a triple threat, I believe, for the SmackDown Women's title in Sasha Banks, Karen, and Charlotte Flair. We got a Raw Tag Team title clusterfuck. For the NXT Tag Team titles, I got Grizzled Young Veterans against somebody. I'm about to get rid of the idea of using the NXT Tag Team titles at WrestleMania. I'm about to destroy that idea. For the women's tag team titles, we had the Iconics defending against Nia Jax in a handicap match. We got for a grudge match, Alistair Black versus Randy Orton. In another grudge match, we got Lacey Evans versus Bianca Belair. And then we still have yet to book 2 grudge matches and a cinematic grudge match. Over on the night 2 side. How do we do this? See, that's weird. Is that now it's working right, I guess. Is this working right? See, I can't wait to have my own home and have enough space for all of this. Can you still hear me? I sure as hell hope so. We got Bray Wyatt against Roman Reigns for the Universal title. Raw Women's title clusterfuck. For the NXT Women's title, Candice LeRae versus Rhea Ripley. We have a SmackDown Tag Team title clusterfuck. For the NXT title, we have Keith Lee versus Seth Rollins. Don't know how the hell that happened, but I kind of like that idea. I think this is for the United States title. Is Daniel Bryan versus Aaron Bourbon. Is this. Grudge match. Otis versus Tucker in a grudge match. And finally, we got, still have yet to book 2 grudge matches and a cinematic grudge match. So, time to take a look at this. And I think this may be the last time you physically see the whiteboard, just because this is really difficult for me to navigate. So I think from here on out, we're going to do graphics here on the screen. So we'll just go from there, so you don't have to. I don't know if you guys thoroughly enjoy me trying to finagle this thing. So here we go. First, just looking at what you guys are putting in, just give me some ideas of what you think should be happening here. CJ saying change the United States title to Intercontinental title. Yeah, it could. Do they try to make Cena a new pseudo Undertaker, asking Randy? They could, but the problem is they had this weird match with him and Bray Wyatt. I don't know what they're going to do with John Cena, if they're going to do anything. NXT Tag Team title is a clusterfuck, says Machoon. Yeah, that's why I'm thinking of getting rid of it, to tell you the truth. So I'm going to use my stinky Cleveland Indians sock, and I am eliminating that. And actually, I think the Alistair Black Randy Orton match, that is not a grudge match. The Alistair Black Randy Orton match is actually an Intercontinental title match, is what that looks like. I got Jamel saying keep Nia versus the Iconics. Okay. Cinematic match, Hollywood backlot street fight, Hollywood horror match. I don't know. I don't want another horror match. I don't know. I don't want another scary match. I like the Hollywood backlot brawl idea. US because it's on Raw. That's right. Yeah, that's United States. Daniel Bryan, Karen Borbin is Intercontinental. That's right. Is that right? Hell if I know. No, yeah, that's right. SmackDown's Intercontinental. That's right. Yeah, that's right. Okay. So, if I am not having... Wow, Kit, look at you. Otis versus Tucker in a machinery match at the SoFi construction site. I will take Otis and Tucker in a cinematic match at a construction site. I'll buy that. I'd love that. Yes. I will buy that. Yes. So, 9 matches. I am taking the cinematic. I'm going to make Otis versus Tucker the cinematic. I love that idea. I absolutely love that idea. Otis and Tucker at a construction site. That is fantastic. Yes. Oh, way better. Kudos on that one. Okay. And thank you, too, because that's the hardest part, is trying to figure out what the cinematic matches are going to be. All right, so we got that. I need to figure out a new title match. If I am not doing the NXT Tag Team titles at WrestleMania, the titles that I have left over is the NXT North American and the Cruiserweight title. Cruiserweight title has normally been defended at WrestleMania, whether it be on the pre-show. And we're not counting the pre-show here. I am just looking at, if I'm booking WrestleMania, this is what I'm doing. Okay? I already have the NXT title match on here, being Keith Lee being the NXT champion going against Seth Rollins. I know that sounds weird, but with how NXT is right now, I don't know. Andrew saying I should put the North American title in there. I could. I very well could. Well, let's hold off a little bit, because I've got the North American title. I could do the North American title. I could do the Cruiserweight title. I could do one of those two. But let's look at the rest of this card first off. Night 1, I've got Drew McIntyre defending the WWE title against Samoa Joe. Are we still for that? Are we still thinking Samoa Joe is going to be a physical competitor? Number 1, absolutely. Samoa Joe, ever since joining the WWE and the main roster in particular, he has yet to be in WrestleMania. Samoa Joe has yet to appear at WrestleMania. It's only because he's always been hurt. So, yeah, I'm going to stick with Drew McIntyre and Samoa Joe for the WWE title. Sasha versus Karen versus Charlotte Flair in a triple threat for the SmackDown Women's title. I don't know. Andrew saying, I thought he had a match with Mysterio. He did. I'm sorry. Samoa Joe did have a match with Mysterio, but it was such a throwaway short match. No, you're right. He did. It was such a throwaway, short-lived match. Shouldn't even recall that. That's not even worth remembering. Sasha versus Karen versus Charlotte for the SmackDown Women's title. Charlotte right now is on Raw. Karen and Sasha will break up and feud well before Mania, says Jamel. Yeah. I don't know. There's got to be something to this. I don't know. Take Charlotte out of the match, says CJ. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking about that. Yeah, you know what? I'll take Flair out of the SmackDown match. Take Flair out of the SmackDown match, so it's going to be Sasha and Karen. Battle Royale. No, I'm not having Battle Royales. I've got too many clusterfucks here. I can't have any more clusterfucks than I've already got. I've got 3 clusterfucks on this card already. I can't have that many. CJ saying you see Io Shirai being involved somewhere. Gil saying I should put Flair back in because she's shoehorned in. I'm really, really getting... I get where all of you are going, that Sasha and Karen will be feuding before this. But this is a slow build. This is such a slow build. No. I gotta have Sasha and Karen for SmackDown. Yeah. I gotta have Sasha and Karen for the women's title on SmackDown. I gotta have that. Raw tag team titles, I don't know what the hell's happening here. Okay? We finally have a program of some kind happening with Street Profits against Andrade and Angel Garza. I don't know what's going on with the Raw tag team titles. I'm keeping that a clusterfuck, unfortunately. Yeah. I'm keeping it like that. Iconics versus Nia Jax. I'm keeping that. I love the idea. I love that idea of Iconics versus Nia Jax. I think that's great for the the women's tag team titles as well, because that's where I see the split happening between Karen and Banks. Even though they've already had a match against the Iconics, you know, I don't know. I'm not accounting Edge into the card either. I'm not counting on him returning right now. Alistair Black versus Randy Orton for the United States title. That's a tough one. That's a very tough one. Apollo Crews is currently your United States champion. CJ saying Cena versus Orton. I see where you're going, CJ, with Cena versus Orton. The problem is, I just don't... Will people forget what the hell John Cena did at last year's WrestleMania? You gonna make that my grudge match, too? I don't know. Could do that. Yeah. You know... Lashley versus Black for the U.S. title. Oh, God. I don't know. We already had Alistair Black versus Bobo Lashley, and that was hastily booked together for WrestleMania. Yeah. No, I'm buying you. I'm buying you, CJ. I'm buying you. I'll buy you on that. I'll make it a grudge match. Cena Orton. John Cena, Randy Orton. Okay. Cena Orton. All right. I'll buy Cena Orton. Still gives me... Okay, so I'm now down to... What am I down to here? I'm only looking at night one. So night one... Night one, I'm still needing 3 matches, it looks like. And I've got Lacey Evans versus Bianca Belair. I don't know about that. You know, both of them have fallen off the face of the planet. And I can't have Shayna Baszler versus Bianca Belair. They did that a ton at NXT. I can't touch that. I can't touch that. And I still have to figure out another title. I still got to... Now I've taken out that. Shit. Which one do you think we need to remove, Andrew? The Lacey Evans, Bianca Belair? Big Show versus Orton is going to be happening at SummerSlam. Big Show, actually, that's happening at Extreme Rules, okay? No, we got to think well ahead. We got to think well ahead. I see what you're doing, CJ, trying to book Randy Orton into oblivion with a lot of cameo appearances. I totally get it. Man, I may leave some slots blank here because I don't want to dwell too long. I think that's what I'll do. I'm going to leave I'm going to leave some slots blank, and I'm going to have it more for all of you to see up in front so you can see what I'm looking at and what we'll book. Okay, but I'm doing this whiteboard just for aesthetics because, whiteboard. Night 2. Andrew saying, I know, I'm going to take out, I'll do that. I'm going to take out Lacey Evans and Bianca Belair. Right now, okay, so the matches that we're sure that are going to happen. Drew McIntyre versus Samoa Joe for the WWE title. Sasha Banks versus Karen for the SmackDown Women's title. A Raw Tag Team clusterfuck of some kind. The Iconics versus Nia Jax in a handicap match for the Women's Tag Team titles. And John Cena versus Randy Orton in a grudge match. That's what we've got night 1. We haven't booked Bork Laser yet. Understand that. We haven't booked Bork Laser. If we're having a live crowd, we got to book Bork Laser. Bring Brie Bella back and have her... Oh, yeah. I'm for anything like that. All right. Night 2. Bray Wyatt versus Roman Reigns for the Universal title. I am not changing that for shit. That is the match that I'm having for WrestleMania. That's the match. Raw Women's title clusterfuck. Asuka is right now the women's champion. She's been having championship matches on television. Nafis, I agree. Yeah, Bork needs a big program. I just don't know what. Raw Women's title clusterfuck. I don't know what I'm doing for the Raw Women's title, but I'm going to book it right now. I am going to book it right now. Since I erased a match, I'm going to add it right here. No Ronda Rousey. I am not putting Ronda Rousey on here. No, I'm not. I can't depend on that. Instead, do I see Asuka being the champion? Yeah, maybe. Becky may be back in time for WrestleMania. Becky may be back in time for WrestleMania. I had big plans for Wanda Rousey being in this, but then Becky decided to have a tiny human in her tum-tum. Yeah, Becky is not going to be, I don't think she'll be back in time for WrestleMania. I see, for right now, I'd love to have Asuka and Bianca Belair. But Bianca Belair hasn't been on television in over a month. In fact, I don't know who from the Raw Women's roster I would do. I don't know. Asuka and Io? No, I don't know, Goose. I don't know if I would do Io Shirai. I mean, no. I can't, no. Now, I'll do a triple threat. Triple threat on the Raw. Asuka, Shayna Baszler, Io Shirai. No, Asuka, Shayna Baszler, and Bianca Belair. I just don't see Io Shirai coming in. I just don't. I just don't see that. Don't know why. Yeah. The triple threat is what I'm looking at. Candice LeRae versus Rhea Ripley for the NXT Women's title. I'm keeping that right now. I'm keeping that one. I don't know why all y'all are talking about Io Shirai moving up when she just won the NXT Women's title. I don't know why you guys are talking about that. I don't get it. You shouldn't even be talking about that. They haven't even, yeah. If there's anyone you're talking about, it should be shifting over from NXT. It should be Rhea Ripley. But I don't know why you're talking Io Shirai. You need another waifu? Is that why? I don't know. SmackDown Tag Team Clusterfuck. At first, I was going to do something like New Day versus Forgotten Sons, but Jackson Riker wants to be a little shit and praise the president, so... yeah. No, I can't touch that. What do you guys think of this idea of Keith Lee versus Seth Rollins for the NXT title? Because right now, it could happen. Right now, Keith Lee is in the prime position to become the NXT champion. Though I see Keith Lee being NXT champion well before WrestleMania. I see this happening. I see Keith Lee being NXT champion. And the best way to boost that he's the champion is facing someone like Seth Rollins. However, Gills is bringing up Karrion Kross. And we did see Keith Lee destroy Karrion Kross's hourglass. Man, I love that idea of Keith Lee and Seth Rollins. I really do. But that does sound good as Keith Lee and Karrion Kross. That does sound good. Keith Lee and Burden. No, I like that when Keith Lee's on the main title. I would love Keith Lee, Seth Rollins. I really, really would. And I can see them doing that. I know it sounds weird, but I can see them doing that. Seth Rollins coming over to NXT and saying he wants to be a Messiah, where he wants to go to where he was created. You know? I'm going to keep that. I'm keeping that, Keith Lee and Seth Rollins. Daniel Bryan versus Karen Corbin for the Intercontinental title. The one thing with all of this is that AJ Styles was transferred to SmackDown and made Intercontinental Champion before we did after we booked all of this. I need Karen Corbin on WrestleMania. Karen Corbin must be at WrestleMania. He must be the Intercontinental Champion. Mashoon, yes, the SmackDown Tag Team titles is a clusterfuck. Yeah. I am changing this match. I am changing Karen Bourbon versus Daniel Bryan. I am changing this. I am making a call. I am changing. I am going to have instead Karen Bourbon. I'm not putting Karen Bourbon at the Universal title. That's for Bray Wyatt and Burton. Because Roman Reigns is going to be the champion. I am doing for the Intercontinental title Karen Bourbon, who will be Intercontinental champion before WrestleMania, defending against Matt Riddle. They are pushing Matt Riddle to the moon, regardless of what's happening with hashtag speaking out. Karen Bourbon versus Matt Riddle is what I'm looking at. We'll figure out a match for AJ Styles. We'll figure out a match for AJ Styles. We'll figure out a match for Daniel Bryan. We'll figure out all of that stuff. I'm saying Matt Riddle because they're pushing him to the moon. See, why not? They invited him to beat up Baron Corbin. Why? He's only been on the SmackDown roster for a hiccup, and he gets to do something in honor of The Undertaker? Nah. But finally, I love that idea by Kit. Otis versus Tucker in a cinematic construction site match. God, that sounds fantastic. Oh, that sounds so good. That sounds fantastic. Man, I can't wait to see that. Okay. I'm going to set the whiteboard down. I don't want to go through trying to show you guys what it is and everything, only because next episode we do of the WrestleMania whiteboard, I will make sure we're just going to have it here on the monitors for you guys to look at, so that you can see. So you can see what I'm writing down and everything, and we can have way better discussion when it comes to the booking. But great ideas coming from you guys. And it's just interesting to look at our whiteboard when we're booking WrestleMania on almost a monthly basis after everything that changes on television. Because in the span of time that's passed since the last time we worked on the WrestleMania whiteboard, AJ Styles became Intercontinental Champion and shifted over to SmackDown. Edge was back. Edge was in a wrestling match and then injured immediately. The tag team title pictures have been a clusterfuck and are staying a clusterfuck. Yeah. So it'll be better. I want to say next time it'll be after Extreme Rules will be the next time that we check out the WrestleMania whiteboard, and I'll have it up here in front for you guys to look at and we talk about and all that good stuff. So, starting to get dry mouth. I need to get some more no dajito. That's going to do it for Wrestleview Weekly. Thank you guys so much for showing up. Tune in tomorrow, post Raw with Mike and Victoria. The king and queen, no, the effervescent one and the queen of Wrestleview. Talking about Monday Night Raw. I'm sure they will talk about spiking Nerf ball. They will also talk about speaking out and all kinds of other stuff. Also, tune in next week here on Wrestleview Weekly, around about the same time, 5 o'clock, everybody. Shane, I forgot to mention you in the chat room. Tune in here next week, 5 o'clock. Going to talk about ages. Going to talk about how old everyone is in the WWE. Just going to leave you here with a little teaser. It's going to be an interesting discussion to talk about what is in your prime. What is wrestling in your prime? That's something we're going to kind of try to break down and figure out. But I'm going to tell you right now, of the 151 performers that are on the WWE main roster currently, 15 of them are over the age of 40. 15 of them over the age of 40. and the number of performers that are under the age of 30, more than double that, 34. Just going to leave you on that. Didn't even figure out who they are and everything. Going to discuss about, again, next week on Wrestleview Weekly, what is considered being in your prime? Who can we anticipate leaving the WWE? And is there anyone ready to fill those roles when they do leave? Thank you guys so much for showing up. Wear your goddamn mask. Okay? Think of everyone else before you start bitching about your own life. And as always, know when you're being sold to.